What's up, e-bikers? This is the Meebike Gallop Step Thru in white. It's an e-moped, and we'll check it out next on the channel. Well, so to this point, I've riding e-bikes for the past, I don't know, year and a half or so. I've kind of resisted getting any kind of e-moped style e-bike like this one here. Reason being is that I'm tall and I just don't get much leg extension on these bikes because the seat height is fixed. I generally ride my bikes about 35 inches in terms of seat height, and this is I think 31 or 32. I just can't get my legs down enough to get any meaningful pull on the pedals there. And this one has a torque sensor, which makes it doubly hard, but we'll get to the flaws later. So that's why I haven't ridden a lot of these bikes and reviewed them on the channel, but that's changing. I'm getting more of these bikes coming, and have another one coming at the end of this month, which I think I'm going to like actually, so stay tuned for that one. But let's talk about the Meebike. This bike has been pushed into the influencer circles the last couple weeks. You may have seen it on YouTube, and I am the latest to review it. It's here courtesy of Meebike, so thanks again. Thanks for them for shipping it out to me and let me try it out for my first e-moped experience. Let's go over the specs real quick. So 750 watt rear hub motor back there with mag wheels, riding on Kenda 20 by 4 inch tires. We've got Logan hydraulic brakes, got a nice color LCD panel, 7-speed Shimano shifter up here, twist throttle, faux leather grips. We got a rear rack. We got a pretty comfy seat, although I wish it was longer since I'm a taller rider. We have well-go pedals. We've got nice step-through design. It's a really sharp-looking bike. I mean, e-moped. I mean, they got a lot of looks and stares on this bike as I'm riding around my neighborhood and local streets, and people just stop and stare at this thing. It is a gorgeous-looking bike, particularly in the white, that nice white glossy paint job they did on here. Got a huge front headlight, which I'll show you later. And front suspension, of course. It's got a lockout and a preload. We've got dual suspension on the back. This bike is probably the most comfortable bike I've ever ridden over bumps in my life so far, with that rear suspension. Just works wonders when you're going over those bumps. I mean, definitely. And I want to take it on. I haven't taken it off-road yet, but I want to do that as well, just to see how it feels. I would imagine it's going to be just even better off-road when you're on like a dirt road overall. But those are some of the specs. It also comes in a step over version in black. This is the Step Thru, only comes in white. So if you want black, you have to get the step over version. That features basically 2 bars coming across over here, but basically the exact same bike. And this is basically a clone of the Himalaya Escape. In fact, it's made in the very same factory as Himalayas. And I'm told the owner of the factory is a part owner of Meebike now too. So it sounds like they're have a little competition there with these e-bike frames that they sell here. But the main difference is the Hemingway version has a 17.5 amp hour battery. This has a 20 amp hour, so this is longer range essentially. And I like the overall components of the bike. So, all right, so what do I like about this bike? So first of all, overall design is just awesome. I mean, a lot of premium parts on this thing. It's just really nice looking. I mean, you can't say anything bad about this design and the way it looks on the road. It's awesome looking. There's just no way around it. The mag wheels. I mean, I've always loved mag wheels on these fat tires, and these do it great justice around that. The ride comfort, again, best ride comfort I've ever had on an e-bike. The bike does weigh 92 pounds. But that's actually good when you're going over potholes and streets and stuff. You just real solid feel while you're riding it, and no issues with the ride quality itself. Massive front headlight, which I love. Haven't tried it at night yet, but I will. Huge battery, so you get much better range on the bike like this. I did a throttle-only test. I'll tell you that later on, so stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the dislikes. So it's got a few. This bike has some flaws. So don't run out there and buy just yet. Listen to what I say first. So first of all, the brakes on this, hydraulic brakes, but the front ones are really noisy. They squeak a lot. So I just sprayed some alcohol on the rotors there to help deaden that sound a bit. But even just sitting on it, you can kind of hear that squeak a little bit. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but it is a little bit squeaky up front with the brakes. And this is a better bike for short people, in my opinion. So if you're looking for an e-moped and you're between 5 foot and 5'6", like this is an excellent type of style bike to get if you're out there. For a 6-footer, probably not the best. It's just too uncomfortable when you're pedaling a bike like this. Throttle only, it's fine because you just sit there with your feet on the pedals. Throttle only, it's fine for me. But if it was my only bike and I wanted to actually pedal it, I would find something with a higher seat, maybe like a juiced Hyper Scorpion. Maybe I think those are taller bikes. Yeah, these shorter ones just don't do it for me as far as rideability, any kind of long-term horizon there overall. So, and then it has a torque sensor, which normally it doesn't really belong on a bike like this because it's a heavy bike. If you do want to pedal it, you need a cadence sensor, and so I've told Meebike that. And with the torque sensor, when you're riding it around, you have to basically put pressure on your legs to get the motor revved up and give you more power. That's hard for me to do being 6 foot, so I have no extension on my legs. So my muscles here really hurt. It's hard to pedal when I'm on this bike because of that torque sensor. So that's why I've just been doing throttle only mainly. I've had the bike for the last couple of weeks. And the big flaw really is the speed of this bike. These bikes typically can be unlocked to 28 miles an hour. When I unlock this, I only get about 22, maybe 23, depending on the how flat it is. That's with the throttle. I can't get it any higher with my legs either. So kind of a big fail on the speed part of this. Meebike is aware of this, and they are actively making changes, they say. So the next production run, they're going to fix I think they're going to change it out to a cadence sensor. At least it sounded like they were. And fix the speed. They think that's why it's not getting to the proper speed because of the torque sensor and the way it's set up with the motor and on the controller, I guess. I'm not an e-bike engineer, but if they want to sell more of these, they got to get up to 28 so you can get a little bit faster output out of this thing. Because at 22, it's okay for just riding around, but if I was commuting on a bike like this, I'd want to get up to 28. It's like go with traffic in certain spots and just have that extra juice if I want to. Riding around 20 miles an hour is fine for the most part. But if it says 28, it should go 28. And to Meebike's credit, they are going to fix this, they say. So, if you guys do Meebike, send me the new one and we'll try it out again. But in the meantime, let's get you some close-ups of this and get out on the road, and I'll give you some more impressions on how it rides. Here's a look at your cockpit of the bike. You got your faux grips over here. Pretty nice grips. You got your Logan hydraulic brakes. You got a bell. And you got your control panel here. I like the control panel, nice and big. You can see the insignias and works pretty well. Here's your control panel. Let me turn the bike on. You got the Meebike welcome. You can see the display there. As you go up in pedal assist, it changes color and such. So there's also a USB port on here somewhere, right here. I think there's a USB port. Moving out to your right side, you got your shifter and your brake and your throttle and your other half grip twist there. Here's a look at the cable management. It's not bad at all. So I did have one issue with FedEx when they delivered this. There's clamps here that go on for the headlight, and they're attached to the frame with some screws. Look, they just snap on. Well, FedEx in their Infinite Wisdom had, I think, dropped the bike on its front side here somehow on the box. And when I got the bike, these were broken in half, essentially. These are metal pieces that the headlight screws into. So Meebike is sending me a new pair of those, but in the meantime, I was able to fix it with some Gorilla Glue and some duct tape. So you can see duct tape on here now, and it's pretty solid. It's not moving. So that Gorilla Glue is doing its job so far. So I was happy to get that at least fixed for now until I wait for the new parts to come. So I get the headlight on there, because it does look so cool with that front headlight on the Meebike. All right, here's your seat and rear rack. You've got the light back here, rear fenders, kind of stiff shocks here. I mean, going over bumps, you'll feel these move a little bit, not a whole lot, but I think that's the point, that you want them a little bit stiffer as you're going over the bigger bumps that will really suck those up. Got your Shimano Altus derailleur down there with a derailleur guard. Here's your chain and crankset. And here's your battery compartment. The keyhole is over here. So that's how you would take the battery out. And it's got a little push button over there. And you can charge it down here, in or out of the bike. So in the winter, you want to take it out. If you do store it in the garage, for example, it's really cold. A couple of bottle cage bosses up here. And that kind of rounds out the bike. So it's a really nice looking electric moped. Definitely will turn heads. And I think in the white color, it's just a really nice touch from a design standpoint. Alright, so the speed looks about correct. It's keeping up with the app here. Going into turns, this thing is a load of fun. Going over some bumps here, nice and easy. You can feel the rear suspension take hold there. Just going to throttle around. I'm not going to pedal much at all. Got a fully charged battery. Took about 6 hours to charge up. The charger is nice. It has there's a fan built into it, so it doesn't get hot at all. I wish more e-bike companies would upgrade their chargers with a fan, cooling fan. Those boxes get pretty hot sometimes. Alright, this is clear. Sit really low on this bike. It's actually good for cornering and stability. This bike just gives you a lot of confidence when you're on the road, especially with that 92 pounds under your feet. So you can see we're hitting some decent speeds when we're doing most of these declines. Test out the top speed over here at my test track. Get those front brakes. I cannot get those front brakes to stop squealing. I tried everything. I tried sandpaper. I tried my de-squeaking solution. That didn't work. I cleaned it with alcohol. Works for like 10 minutes and then it stops. Alright, this is a fairly flat section here. There's a slight decline and then a slight downcline. So we're doing 18.5. This is 18 here, 19. So it's pretty accurate. Maybe a tad off. We're at 20.5, 21, 21.4. We're at kind of a decline here. And it should speed up a little bit as we get over this little crest here. Nobody's coming. No comments, please. Alright, this is a nice flat stretch. 20.8, 21, 21.1. I was getting 22, but this seems to be about it right here, at least on this stretch, which I think is pretty flat. So yeah, a little disappointing in the speed, obviously. You know, I would at least want to go 25 on this thing. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if they tuned the motor down and they didn't set the. I did unlock it to 28, like they said, through these settings. This is a great display, by the way. All the settings in there are easily changeable and easy to read. Let's try it this way. One more look at the bike before we end up here. Again, great looking package. I mean, you can't knock the looks of this bike and the parts that you get on it. Premium parts. You know, the three things wrong with it: the squeaks, the torque sensor, which should be a cadence sensor, and the top speed. Other than that, it's a great bike. And you know, if you don't care about speed, then you'll probably love it. It's 92 pounds, so probably can't really put it on a hitch trailer. So keep that in mind. I'm not traveling with this bike. This is kind of a stay-at-home bike and a cruise around the neighborhood type of e-ride here. So keep that in mind. But $22.99 on Meebike.com. Again, they said they're coming out with a new version with the fixes for the speed and hopefully a cadence sensor. So we'll check back in with them once they do that, and hopefully we get another version of this. But anyway, for ChrisCrossed, I'm Chris, and we'll see you next time.